Hello ladies and gentlemen. In this video we are going to learn how to start simplifying exponents. Sometimes you're going to be getting these really absurd exponential expressions, and we want to be able to make them not complex, not scary, not intimidating. We want to be able to condense them and simplify them into really easy to work with expressions. And the way we do that, at least the way we're going to start doing that, is with the two properties we learned yesterday, or learned in our previous videos, I should say. We learned about the product property and the quotient property. Product property is when you're multiplying exponents to combine them, and the quotient property is when we're dividing exponents to reduce them. And it should go as no surprise that the two steps to simplifying an exponent expression such as this is to step one, combine using the product property. And if you want a little refresher on the product property, that's where we add the coefficients and, we multiply the coefficients, there we go, and add the powers, or rather add the exponents. That's the product property. And then after we've combined whatever we can, we're going to go back in and do step two, which is to reduce using the quotient property. And once again, for those of you playing at home, that's when we divide the coefficients and then subtract the exponents. What this does is the first one gets us to a nice kind of sort of simplified fraction. And then the second one takes it all the way and makes sure that that fraction is in simplest form. So let's give it a try with this first one up here. I need to simplify this expression. The way we do that is first to combine. The top doesn't have anything to combine, so I'm going to keep it the same. This is 7n squared. Nothing crazy, just keeping it the same. The bottom, though, I have some multiplication here with the same base, so I can combine it. 5 times, hopefully you remember the golden rule of algebra. If you don't see the number, it's probably a 1. So 5 times 1 is 5. And then I'll add the exponents. 2 plus 2 is 4, so I get 5n to the 4th. And that's the first step. We've done the first step. Combine. Now, we're going to do the second step. Reduce. And we do that through division, or the quotient property. First thing I want to do is try and divide the coefficients. These don't divide evenly in either direction, so it's going to stay as a fraction. And this fraction, 7/5, is already in simplest form, meaning I can't reduce these numbers using a common factor. So we are done dividing. Now I'm going to subtract. Let's subtract 2 and 4. 2 minus 4 is 2. The 4 is bigger, so that means this n squared is going to completely cancel out, and this 4 is going to lose 2. So we'll end up with 7 over 5 times n squared. And that's my first one. We're already done. Box it, ship it out. It's ready to go. So that's all we're doing. It really doesn't get more complicated than that. We just do it over and over and over again until it becomes muscle memory. Combined with the product property, reduce with the quotient property. Let's do another one. And now this is where the practice problems actually start to take effect. Remember, when we're practicing with practice problems, the idea is you pause the video, try it yourself, and then unpause the video. You're not going to learn a lot by watching Mr. Grab. You're going to learn so much more if you try them yourself. So please, pause the video, try number 2, and then unpause it. See if you get the same answer as me. All right, I'm looking at number 2. I see that the top can be combined, but the bottom is going to stay the same. So I'm just going to go ahead and write the bottom as I see it, 6n cubed. That's not going to change. But now I'm going to combine the top. I'm going to multiply 6 times 3, which is 18. And then I'm going to add 2 plus 3, which is 5. So I get 18 n to the 5th over 6n cubed. That's the first step out of the way. Now I'm going to do some division. 18 can be divided by 6. It divides into 6 3 times. And since the 18 is bigger, I'm going to completely cancel out this 6 and turn this 18 into a 3 on the top. So that means I'm going to get a 3 on the top. And I'm including the fraction line here because I don't know yet if there's going to be anything on the bottom. I'm going to put that there. If there's nothing on the bottom, then I'm going to box it. But if there is something on the bottom, it's nice to have that fraction line ready to rock. All right, now I'll subtract. What is 5 minus 3? Well, 5 minus 3 is 2. And seeing as though the 5 is bigger, that means this whole n cubed gets eliminated, and this 5 is going to turn into a little 2. So I end up with 3 times n squared. And as it turns out, nothing is left on the bottom, so I can box this and move on to the next. Hopefully you got this answer here, 3n squared. Okay, let's try a couple more. Okay, so we've got nothing to combine on the top, so I'm going to keep it as I see it, 3n to the 4th. But I can combine the bottom. So 8 times 8, that's 64. And then I'll add 2 plus 4. 2 plus 4 is 6, so I get n to the 6th power on the bottom. Sweet. I've combined. Now it's time to reduce. 3 and 64, do they divide in either direction? No. So I can keep that as a fraction. And what's really great is that this fraction is in simplest form. I don't need to do anything else to it. So that's the dividing coefficients part. Now let's subtract the exponents. What is 6 minus 4? 6 minus 4 is 2. And it looks to me that the 6 is bigger. So this gets completely eliminated, and the 6 turns into a little 2. So I'll end up with 3 over 64 times n squared. Box it, put a bow on top, give it to someone for Christmas. There you go. Next one. Once again, we're going to use that golden rule of of variables. When working with variables, if I don't see a number next to it, it's usually a 1. And by usually, I mean 99.99% of the time. All right, so these actually have some 1s next to them. So let's keep that in mind. The top can't be combined, so I'm just going to keep it as I see it, 1x squared. The bottom can be combined, so I'll multiply the coefficients. And by can be combined, I mean it has multiplication and they're the same base. If it has multiplication and we're using the same base, they can be combined. If they were different bases, they couldn't be combined. So here we go. 1 times 5 is 5. Can't believe I had to think about that. And then 2 plus 3 is another 5. So we end up with 1x squared over 5x to the 5th. Now that's just the first step. We still have to reduce. Can 1 be divided by 5? Can 5 be divided by 1? Technically, yes. 5 divides into 1 5 times. So which one's bigger? The 5. So I'll put the 5 on the bottom and eliminate the 1. It's just an easy way to just get rid of a number. In math, we like to get rid of redundancies. 1s are usually redundant. So there you go. And now we're going to do some subtraction. What's 5 minus 2? Oh, you know what? We shouldn't have got rid of that one. We're going to need that one. I'll show you why in just a moment. 5 minus 2 is 3. So actually, this x is going to be completely eliminated. This 5 is going to turn into a 3. And so we're going to end up with 5 times x cubed under the number 1. 1 over all of this. I thought we eliminated that one. Well, remember with division, we're not literally getting rid of the number. We're just turning it into a 1. When I divide a number by itself, it doesn't just turn into 0, right? A number divided by itself turns into 1. And so when we're eliminating things with division, we're not turning them into zeros, we're turning them into 1s. So just keep that in mind. We're never truly eliminating things. We're just moving them around or changing them into ones. Okay. Next thing. All right, try it yourself. See if you get the same answer as me. Let's go. The top can't be combined, so we're going to keep it as I see it. 7x squared. The bottom, I've got multiplication and the same base, so they can be combined. Let's do it. 4 times 6 is 24. And then 4 plus, oh, what's that missing number? That's right, it's 4 plus 1 is 5. So I get 24x to the 5th power. All right, it's combined. Now we got to reduce. 7 and 24 don't divide, and they're already in simplest form, so that makes it really easy. 7/24. And then 5 minus 2. What's 5 minus 2? 5 minus 2 is 3. The 5 is bigger, so we'll cancel out the 2, the x squared, and turn the 5 into a little 3. So we end up with 7 over 24x cubed. Box it up, ship it out, ready to roll. All right, let's do one more practice problem. Here we go. The top cannot be combined. It's already as simple as it gets, so I'm going to keep it like that. 4m. And you know what? I think we should do this right now. I'm looking at this m. I know I'm going to need to know its exponent. Please remember that if it's just a variable, the exponent is 1. If it doesn't already have a power, the power is 1. Its power level is 1. Same thing's going to happen down here. Look, we've got an m. It's going to be m to the 1st power. And it's got no coefficient, but we already know. Golden rule of variables. If it's missing the number, it's probably a 1. There we go. Let's combine. 8 times 1 is 8. And now we'll add. M plus 4 plus 1 is 5. So we're going to have 4m over 8m to the 5th power. Now I'm ready to simplify. All right. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Which one's bigger, the 8 or the 4? Good. The 8 is bigger. So the 4 is going to completely eliminate. And by completely eliminate, I mean we're just turning it into a 1, technically. But it's eliminating. And we're going to turn this 8 into a 2. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay. So we're going to end up with, oh, we still have to do the fractions, but we're going to end up with a 2 on the bottom, right? And now the exponents. What is 5 minus 1? 5 minus 1 is 4. That's right. Which one's bigger? The 5. So get rid of the m to the 1st power. Get rid of the 5 and turn that into a 4. And that's going to get us our final answer. 2m to the 4th. But what goes on to the top? Remember, when I said when we eliminate, we're not literally getting rid of it and turning it into a 0. We're technically turning that 4 into a 1. So what's going to go on the top? Well, what's the golden rule of algebra again, too? If it's missing a number, it's probably a 1. In this case, it is. 1/2 or 1 over 2 times m to the 4th power. All right, folks, that's going to do it for practice problems. This is a good smattering of random problems. Like, literally, these are just random. So this is a good indication of what you might see on a concept check-in or a test in your future. So please practice these. If you didn't go all right, I encourage you to replay the video, try it again, rewatch the quotient property. That's probably where a lot of us went wrong, because that one's kind of tricky at times. Okay. I'll see you in the next video, where we are going to expand this and simplify even more complex problems. All right, see you then.